So I am a bit of a procrastinator, and as a procrastinator, I understand the feeling of wanting to do things but not quite having the motivation to convince myself to do them. Usually for me, this comes in the form of looking at the big picture and not being able to comprehend it without breaking it into smaller and smaller steps, to the point where it's taken me months to do simple tasks and years to plan out complicated ones. I've told some of you about that book that I'm writing, the book that I've technically been writing since freshman year, which I've written the story-wise 11 pages of, most of which I plan on changing, but my outline has reached 90 pages at this point. Erin, you and I have it particularly hard because we work on devices that are basically just built to distract you. Most of the time with information that doesn't really help us do anything particularly useful, other than figuring out how to make us happy, or at least numb. There are different kinds of procrastination. It sounds like you have a different kind from the one that I have, but I find that the most important thing to help me stop procrastinating is having a schedule and a calendar. Since graduating, I learned that I pretty much can't function at all without a schedule. It can be as simple as do this task on this day, or as complex as mapping out each day by every half an hour. I would do this in school because I always had so much going on that if I didn't, I would fall behind and forget so many things that I was obligated to do. But it took me a little while to figure out that a schedule is actually just necessary for me to get any amount of work done. And I use a calendar to hold myself accountable for the days. If I don't do everything that I want to do in a day, I don't cross it out, which helps me really easily and quickly tell when I'm falling behind and how far I'm falling behind. The kind of mentality that I have when I'm moving forward on a goal like this is the same kind of mentality that I have when I'm reading. The difference between someone who reads one book a year and someone who reads a lot of books can be 30 minutes a day. Just spending a small amount of time on something every day can make a really big difference. This is how I combat my focus on the big picture. 2 hours spread out across a whole week can be far better for me than telling myself that I'm going to spend 6 hours on Saturday and Sunday doing something. You have to be realistic about your schedule, though. I know that I won't be able to do something unless I find something that I'm going to cut out of my life. Along with focusing on doing something, I have to focus on something not to do, and I have my brain trigger whenever I do that thing. I also find going out for walks to be really helpful. Just going out and being bored in nature can really help you think and recalibrate your brain. I hope that any of that can help in some way, and even if it doesn't, I hope that hearing from someone that your experience is shared with other people can be helpful and comforting. It's my turn to ask a question this time, and since I was just talking about it, I want to hear about what your guys' biggest time wasters are. Things that you do for fun but really don't help you in any way. I watch a lot of YouTube, as you guys know, and while I would say that a good portion of it is educational and useful, a lot of it is basically just mental popcorn. Even educational, like pop science, I don't always think is very useful for me to learn, even though I am learning something. You may not waste as much time on your answers as I do, but I want to hear what your guys' mental popcorn is. I also want to hear about whether you guys think that you have a healthy relationship with it, and maybe some fun facts that you learned from that.